Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Tom Burgraff. I'm the Vice President for Institutional Advancement for Western and Director of the Western State College Foundation. It is my honor to welcome you to the celebration of the century. It is the crescendo of our heritage to a horizon 100th anniversary year for Western and the unveiling of the wonderful Mountaineer sculpture. Thank you for being with us on this very special night. We've been given a beautiful, beautiful evening to be out here together. The majority of our celebration is going to be inside, but the most meaningful part is about to unfold. If throughout the evening you had any idea how much joy awaits you, you would not be able to contain yourself. I've been inside. I sampled the joy. I know. It's going to be a very special evening, one that I hope we'll remember for a very, very, very long time. Please join me in welcoming a man whose vision and leadership have set the standard for commitment and leading an institution in the 21st century. He's our president, Dr. Jay Hellman.
Well, as Tom said, believe me, you have no idea what you're about to experience. As I've told several of you in circulating with the crowd, I can't wait personally for you to see this. I had a sneak preview yesterday afternoon. This Mountaineer icon is absolutely terrific, and we're really excited about this tonight. So as Tom said, we're here to celebrate. This is our final event of the 100-year celebration of Western State College, and how appropriate that we tonight are going to be dedicating this Mountaineer, who will be looking right up at W Mountain. And in my mind, when I watched him yesterday, I thought, this icon represents the strength and the heritage of Western State College and the shoulders of all the people that we're standing on as we're entering into the 21st century. And he also, I think, represents looking out on the horizon for the future, for what is going to be an absolutely magnificent future for Western. And then, I think equally important is the man who made this possible, and that's a Western State alumnus and of equal importance, a very good friend of ours, Josh Tovey. I'd like to have the artist Josh Tovey come up and say a few words about
Thank you very much.
Good luck seeing it.
All right, yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting, actually. When I graduated from Western with a sculpture degree, I really didn't envision so much public speaking in my future. But I'd like to thank you all for being here for this very special dedication. I've told a lot of people over the past several years that as an artist, what I really feel like I do is I work for compliments. And what I mean is that when someone appreciates your work, and often appreciates your work enough to bring it into their special place, their special environment, it's just very touching. It's absolutely the ultimate compliment. But tonight, I'd like to tell you that when we pulled this curtain off of this piece, this is the greatest compliment and the greatest honor of my career. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the process, just a little. It's a big process, but a little bit about when I was contemplating the composition for this mascot. There were a few things that were really important to me. First of all, I wanted it to be a unique piece for my body of work. I've never sculpted this way. This is a traditional technique, a traditional style. It's finished in a traditional patina. But really, it's because I wanted it to weather and season for a long time. I wanted it to be a very important piece for Western. Also, I wanted it to symbolize what it means to be a student and an alumnus and a Mountaineer. I also wanted this sculpture to embody some of the history, the pride and experience, and some of the rivalries of Western State. It is, after all, a mascot. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the sculpture before you see it. That way you can appreciate it a little bit more. For me, this Mountaineer is a young person. He has his entire future ahead of him. However, he's accomplished. He's been here. He's weathered a few Gunnison winters. He's also experienced some of the challenges and the rivalries that we all know are out there for us in our future. And some of that symbolism is my Mountaineer is wearing a grizzly bear necklace. It's the bear claws. So he's declawed the grizzly, one of our big rivalries. He's also, our Mountaineer is also not wearing a raccoon skinned hat. I'm sorry. He's wearing a timber wolf hat, and he's plucked a feather from a skyhawk. There's a few other things about this piece. Mountain Men, I worked with Dwayne Vandenbush to find out a few special things about Mountain Men, and they always had what they called a possibles bag. And if you are a Western State alum, or if you are a student at Western, you know that a possibles bag is for carrying your beer. Actually, a possibles bag is exactly that. It's for carrying anything you might possibly need, and I felt like that was really the spirit of Western State and what it did. It arms us for our future. It gives us the tools to go forward, to succeed, and to face our challenges. And finally, there's another little detail there. Many of you might not know our first mascot was actually the fawn. And so on the possibles bag is a depiction of that fawn, because that's part of our history. Finally, I'd just like to say it takes a lot of people to make a piece like this happen. And I'd like to thank everyone that participated, donated time, money, effort into making this project happen. And I just can't wait for you to see it. So, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Mountaineer is also standing on a 5-foot base of the crest of Western. Yes, and so we hope you'll all enjoy that. We'd like to invite a special alumnus who has received the Mountaineer Athletic Association Lifetime Achievement Award, who founded the WSC Foundation, to unveil this sculpture for us. He's our friend, he's our brother, he's as Mountaineer as they get. Dick Bratton, he didn't expect this, but Dick, would you do the honors? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, for the ages, thanks to Josh Toby, thanks to so many of you, thanks to a heritage that's infected all of us, I am most proud to announce the unveiling of our Mountaineer. Dick.
So we determined some time ago that a strong and meaningful icon like this Mountaineer deserved a dedication to a strong and meaningful icon and a giant of a character in the Gunnison Valley. So it is my pleasure and my honor to dedicate the Mountaineer to my friend Dick Bratton. And Dick, I'm going to hand you this. We've got a facsimile of what is going to be a bronze plaque that will be mounted up here alongside the Mountaineer. But so it's going to look like this. It'll have Dick's photograph and some biographical information about Dick and all he's done for Western State College and for the Gunnison Valley. So Tom has asked me to share how this whole idea has come about, both the dedication to Dick Bratton and the Mountaineer itself. And really backing up to the idea of the Mountaineer, and Josh, I don't know if you remember this, but when Josh Toby came up to install the Bull and Bear in front of the Boric building, this was all a construction site. And really the landscaping was conceptual at that point, and I still wasn't really clear what this landscaping was going to look like. But when Josh installed the Bull and Bear, we were looking over at this construction site, and Josh, you remember this, Josh? He looked at me and he says, "You know what, Jay, I could put a really cool Mountaineer up there in front of Taylor." I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, "Josh, let's stay in touch, man." So not long after that, I got a letter from a man whose daughter had graduated from Western State that knows Dick, and he He said, I've contributed to many things at Western State College, and typically it's in the name of someone who's no longer here. And he said, what I would like to do, and I'd like you at Western State to do, is think about something you can do to honor Dick while he's still driving as hard as he's driving. Tom Burgraff and I put our heads together, decided that we thought it would be appropriate to dedicate this Mountaineer to Dick Bratton. So Tom and I, surreptitiously, at least to Dick and Donna, we met with their daughter Sarah Bratton Bradbury in Denver, and we pitched the idea to Sarah and told her what we were up to. She spoke with family members, and the family members, Sarah and her husband Tom and her sister Susan, came up with a lead gift challenge for this Mountaineer. So I'd like to thank them for their lead on getting this started. It's a fully privately funded project. We then, of course, once we had the lead and knew we could get there on the private funding for this Mountaineer, we then started talking to other members of the Western State community, and I'd like to thank Bob and Margie McGraw. Bob is a Western State alum who's on our Western State College Foundation. So Bob and Margie, thank you for your very generous gift, and thanks to Western State Board of Trustee member and Western alum Todd Wheeler and his wife Laura. I'd like to thank everyone else who's made a contribution to make this possible. Thank you very much. Let's raise a glass to Dick Bratton. Okay, second, let's toast the artist, Josh Toby. Josh. And finally, a toast to the 100 years of Western State College of Colorado.